Hey there! Welcome back to Bipolar Talks, your space for mindful conversations around mental health and real life with bipolar disorder. Before we dive in, here's a quick invitation. If this episode resonates with you, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You never know who might need to hear this today. Now here's a tough one. If you or your partner live with bipolar disorder, should you have children? This question comes up a lot in the community, and it's a big one, not just emotionally but ethically, practically, and deeply personally. What would you do if you were facing that decision right now? Some people feel very strongly on both sides of this debate. On one hand, there are voices that say having kids when you have bipolar is irresponsible. Others push back and say that's unfair and stigmatizing. So in this episode, we're not here to judge. We're here to mindfully explore both perspectives. At the end of the day, only you can decide what's right for you and your family. Stick with us. This might help you understand the issue in a new way. We live in an age where it's easy to find information that supports what we already believe. But this topic deserves more than just echo chambers. It deserves curiosity, honesty, and space for reflection. Have you ever caught yourself only listening to opinions you already agree with? I want to acknowledge something up front. This is a sensitive subject. Some of you may have experienced loss, trauma, or deep struggles related to bipolar disorder in your family. Please know that my intention is never to cause pain, just to create an open, caring space for real talk. If something feels missing or doesn't sit right with your story, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, respectfully and mindfully. Let's start with the common concerns. A lot of parents with bipolar have asked me, is it my fault my child has bipolar? And wow, the guilt can be heavy. I actually made a whole video about that because so many people carry that burden. What would you say to a friend who felt that kind of guilt? Here's what the research tells us. If one parent has bipolar disorder, there's about a 10 to 25% chance their child could develop it too. If both parents have it, that rises to around 10 to 50%. And many people with bipolar have at least one relative with depression or bipolar. So yes, genetics play a role. But remember, they're part of the picture, not the whole story. When I first thought about the idea of having a child, my mind jumped to, what if they end up with bipolar disorder? I don't have kids yet, so I can't speak from personal parenting experience. But I've spent years talking to people who do. Have you ever asked yourself why you believe what you believe? I started noticing a pattern. People who strongly opposed having kids often came from very difficult family backgrounds. Abuse, stigma, untreated illness. Their fears were rooted in real pain. And those who supported having kids often already had them, were in treatment, and had systems in place. Every family is different. That's why it's so important to understand the why behind people's opinions, not just the what. One story that stuck with me was from a woman whose mom broke down crying, saying, I should have noticed what was happening to you when you were young. That moment stayed with her deeply. Have you ever had a conversation with a parent that changed how you saw your childhood? Let's not forget that in the past, mental illness wasn't understood like it is now. Many older parents told me they would have done things differently if they'd had access to the information we do today. We're lucky to live in a time where knowledge, support, and resources are more available than ever. Now here's another layer: gender. Women with bipolar often face more intense challenges around pregnancy. Can I stay on meds while pregnant? Will those meds affect my baby? What if I develop postpartum depression or psychosis? These are huge questions, and they deserve support, not silence. Postpartum can be a vulnerable time for any mom, but especially for women with bipolar. If you're planning a family, having a plan in place with doctors and loved ones can be life-saving. A decade ago, many doctors flat out told women with bipolar not to have kids. Thankfully, that's changing, but we still need better awareness and planning. If you're a partner, this is your cue. Really listen to her concerns. Support begins with understanding. And for the men, your concerns matter too. Will you be able to support your family financially and emotionally? What if your partner becomes symptomatic? Or if you do? Honest conversations now can prevent future overwhelm. Here's another scenario. Your parents are against you having kids. You hear things like, you'll ruin your life, or that child is going to suffer. That can hurt deeply, especially coming from family. But ask yourself, why are they saying that? Is it fear? Is it based on outdated info? Yes, raising a child with bipolar can be challenging, but many of us are parenting in a completely different time with better tools and more insight. I know that if I became a parent, I'd have very different resources than my parents did raising me. Living with bipolar can actually give you an edge in terms of empathy and preparedness. Let's be real though. If you're using drugs, constantly moving, or making this decision during a manic episode, that's another story. Timing matters. Stability matters. It's not about judgment. It's about being honest with yourself. Even if you feel 1000% sure, give this decision the space it deserves. Some people didn't get to make the choice. Maybe pregnancy happened during mania or they weren't planning it. That changes everything. I've had families reach out, desperate to stop their bipolar adult children from having kids. But ultimately, if someone chooses to parent, what they need most is support and education. We can't control their choices, but we can influence outcomes with love. After a child is born, the real work begins. The good news? We live in the age of information. If your child does end up with bipolar disorder, your knowledge and experience can be a game changer for them. You might just become the advocate you wish you had growing up. But support systems matter too. Do you have access to doctors, therapists, or school accommodations if your child needs them? What about finances? Is your community equipped for special needs care? Ask the hard questions now, it'll make things easier later. And here's a practical idea. Get your kid into something mindful early on. Karate, gymnastics, or other personal development activities can build discipline, confidence, and emotional regulation. These were life-changing for me. What mindful activities made a difference in your life as a kid? Parents, please don't try to carry everything alone. Having your own support system, like counseling, is essential. You don't need to be in crisis to benefit from it. It's about perspective, clarity, and care. Sometimes all we need is a wise outside voice to help us find peace inside. And if your partner is pregnant and expressing hopeless thoughts, take it seriously. Depression during pregnancy is very real, and bipolar disorder adds complexity. Listen, be there, and get help if needed. Never assume they're just venting. A hug, presence, and gentle love can do so much more than we think. I know this episode is long, but it matters. There's no single right answer here. Every situation, diagnosis, and relationship is unique. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to offer perspectives and plant seeds for your own reflection. What's one idea today that sparked something in you? Thanks so much for listening to this mindful conversation on Bipolar Talks. If this resonated with you, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing with someone who might need to hear it. Your voice matters, and so does your story. And don't forget, this YouTube video is for informational purposes only. Always talk to a trusted mental health professional when making decisions that affect your health or your family's future. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.